I absolutely love plants. My only issue is that I really struggle to keep these things alive. So that's why today I'm going to go over the best upcoming plant games that require no actual physical effort to keep them alive. And no, this isn't just a list of farming sim games. There's a range from a couple of farming sims that are really unique to games that involve plants and have no farming whatsoever, so there is the perfect mix. The first game on my list is Botany Manor. This is the perfect game if you're a lover of plants and puzzle solving, as it combines the two beautifully. We don't know exactly when to expect the game, we just know it's sometime soon. The game is set around 19th century England, taking place in a huge manor and the grounds that surround it. And oh boy, does the game look stunning. I just hope it looks this good on the Nintendo Switch as well, as it's also launching on PC. Now this is a puzzle game, but it's unlike any puzzle game you've played before, as all the puzzles are to do with growing plants. This involves finding the seeds, potting them, and then carrying them to the correct environment. As it turns out, the plants are just a little bit fussy. Now, figuring out their ideal habitat is really where the puzzle solving gets good. The clues to figure out where they need to go can be anything from posters, newspapers, letters, or basically anything you come across with in the manor can be used to solve a puzzle. And whilst you do all the puzzle solving, you also get to learn about Arabella and the struggles she faced as a female scientist. And as a woman in STEM myself with a PhD in chemistry, I really love the sound of that. Then we have Potion Craft. Now this is already out on PC, but it's coming to the Nintendo Switch in spring. And I genuinely can't wait, as this looks to be a lot of fun. For me, potion brewing and plant loving go hand in hand. And this game shows that beautifully. You play as an aspiring alchemist and open up a store. And each day people will come to your shop in search of potions to solve their issues. And it's completely up to you to figure out which potion to make them and make it from scratch. You collect the herbs from your own garden. You then process them in a number of ways where the game encourages you to experiment. The processing steps you take to make the potion will then determine its strength and therefore grade. Once you've made the potion, it's then up to you to haggle with the customers to get the best price for it. So you really do absolutely everything involved with running the shop. The potion brewing is more of a puzzle solving game than it is a mini game. And ultimately your aim while making the potions is to brew the maximum strength potion with as little effort and money as possible. Thankfully the game starts off nice and slow to begin with, but as your shop gets more popular, the requests from your customers get slightly more difficult. This means you'll have to spend money to upgrade your equipment and get a hold of rarer and more expensive herbs to make them. I feel like this is exactly what I've been looking for in terms of a cozy Switch game. I love shop management games and that kind of style, and I love the fact that they took it and mixed it in with kind of a puzzle solving aspect. It just seems perfect for me. Next up is a game that seems a little bit closer to being a farming sim, but don't worry, it has a great twist, and that's Roots of Pacha. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly when it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. We know it's releasing on the PC at the end of April, and it's coming to the Switch sometime this year, but I cannot wait for it. This is a Stone Age life sim. I'm already in love with it. I love that idea. And the reason why I included it on this list is that it truly makes you embrace living off of the land. The vibes and the art style of the game are impeccable. It has everything you'd probably expect from a Stone Age life sim. You can gather and farm vegetables. You can also domesticate animals and learn to hunt. And there's also a ton to explore around the area. But the thing that really makes this stand out compared to other life sims I've played is that you evolve and learn new processes to make your primitive world a little less primitive. These can be things like learning how to do metal work, preserving food, and also unlocking pottery. As the game progresses, you can also invent new buildings and start to expand your town. And don't worry, you can do more traditional life sim stuff as well, like decorating your home. And if you want more people to join your clan, you can go around to neighboring clans and invite people into yours. There are also festivals, all based around Mother Nature and her elements. And I feel like the Stone Age aspect just already makes this game feel so unique when compared to other life sims. I genuinely cannot wait to get my hands on it. I think I might have to buy it in April when it comes out on the PC, because I just can't wait for it to come to the Switch. Oh, and by the way, you can play this game completely in co-op as well. It's fantastic. Next is a slightly more traditional take on a farming sim, but you'll see why I included it in this list in a second, and this is Farm Folks. This is an open world farming sim that I truly hope enters into early access sometime soon. The reason why I included it on this list is it has so many aspects from different styles of games that I love, all put into one. Unlike a typical farming sim, you can build your farmhouse from scratch. The building style is modular and feels kind of similar to The Sims, only you do it in third person with your character, literally allowing you to make your farm home piece by piece. And they have already shown us some incredible builds that can be made. Then once you've built your house from scratch and made it exactly how you want it to be, you can then decorate it with the most intricate controls. Not only are we talking picking the color of your furniture, which can go as far as to actually picking a color by hex code, you can pick patterns and even resize the furniture. Like for example, you can make a settee anything from a single person settee to a full-on 3-person one. Also, they've given us a froggy chair. What more do you want? Considering it's named Farm Folks though, there are of course the more traditional farm sim things you can do on top of the building. Firstly, you can take care of some of the most adorable animals I have ever seen. On the game's website, they specifically mention how they want to focus on being able to bond with your animals. So I think that means once you've bought an animal, they're with you forever. You can also plant any of the 60 plantables that they're planning to be in the game. And one cool thing they've added is the fact that some crops will give bonus effects to all of the surrounding crops, meaning that you really have to think hard about where you're going to place each crop. And that feels closer to real life farming, because that's the thing too. You can also mine and fish, and there is a ton to explore around the island, including giant beaches and dangerous caves. They've even given us examples of festivals that will be in the game as well. Now, one cool thing they showed on their Twitter account is this. They're giving you the ability to design and customize the packaging of your farm produce, so you can make a whole entire brand based on your farm. And I genuinely think that is such a cool touch to the game. I am so excited. They've also been teasing mer people to be coming in the game, but it is worth noting, I think this hasn't even launched on Kickstarter quite yet. I think that's coming up sometime soon. So although the game might be going into early access at some point in 2023, the likelihood is it might not make the Nintendo Switch by then. But they have said they're hopefully going to be porting the game to that console. Either way, I love the combination between the farm sim mechanics, but also kind of the building elements of The Sims. I really think it's a smart combination, and I'm so excited to see how they do it. Next up is Mail Time, and if you love mushrooms, this is the game for you. This is a cottagecore lover's dream, which sees you play as a mail scout, entrusted with the job of delivering mail throughout the whole of Grumble Grove. And the villagers you deliver your mail to are absolutely adorable. As you deliver the mail to each villager, you learn more about them and their stories, as they begin to open up to you with every single task you do for them. And each interaction with a villager I've had in the demo so far has just been unbelievably wholesome. Delivering mail will see you explore every inch of the grove that it has to offer, and it will see you scaling up trees, hopping over mushrooms to make it to your next delivery. But the best part of all of this is that you can do it at your own pace, with over 8 areas to explore in the full game. There's no timer and no pressure. Then we have Pixelshire. If you're more of a pixel art gardener, then this is the game for you. And Pixelshire is all about developing the perfect town and farm. To me, it's kind of a combination between Stardew and Animal Crossing, as it pulls across more of the classical farming elements from Stardew and combines them with the terraforming side of Animal Crossing, and also has a stronger focus on the villagers and completing each of the quests they give you. At the start of the game, you end up washed up on the beaches of the continent, with a pirate claiming both you and your bust up boat arrived the night before. Thankfully though, the town's mayor was nice enough to give you a room. And from there, you slowly begin to start your new life and build yourself back up. You spend time getting to know the townspeople, and maybe, if you're lucky enough, fall in love as well. There's plenty of things to do to occupy your days, with farming, mining, woodcutting, fishing, cooking, and brewing, just to name a few. But there's also so much to explore through the continent as well, with hidden treasures, mountain jungles, and enchanted forests, all to explore. And the best part is the map is procedurally generated, meaning that no two games will be exactly alike. Unlike Stardew Valley, I love the fact that this game is more quest focused. I think one of the things I struggled with in Stardew Valley at the start was just like, go, do your thing. Maybe do the bundles, but it's completely up to you. Whereas Pixelshire actually has some more direction to it, which I personally need in a game. The demo was a lot of fun to play. It's definitely different. It took me a little bit to get to grips with all the controls, but I had a lot of fun giving it a go, and I think it's still available now if you have a PC. Then we have Fabledon. This has to be my absolute favorite demo I tried in Steam Fest this year. I fell in love instantly. I will just point out the game hasn't specifically said that it will be coming to the Nintendo Switch, but I went to the publisher's website and they did say that they really only take on games which can be released on multiple platforms. So fingers crossed some version of this comes to the Switch. This kind of reminds me of a fairy tale version of City Skylines, but so much more chill. Instead of building a city though, you build a kingdom. And the reason I included this for plant lovers is because it's incredibly nature driven. You literally start off in a bare field and the game gives you a few people to populate your realm, and you need to build it up from there. You control everything from the placement of houses, which means more villagers can move into your town. You also manage resources by getting the villagers to work in each of the different places. So you assign them to lumber mills, farms, and the quarries to gather resources for you. And you're also in charge of building each and every one of the roads. And all of this you need to do while making the most of the landscape and the natural resources that surround you. But not only do you do the city management, you also have to deal with relationships with the neighboring kingdoms as well. I was genuinely so sad when I finished the demo for the game. I had so much fun playing it. I think it's still available right now, so if you have a PC, definitely give it a go. It is on my radar as a game I will be 100% picking up the moment it comes to Steam. And I had so much fun. I love it so much. My final game on the list, and one of my most anticipated games of 2023, is Storia Seasons: A Wonderful Life. Now, I won't spend too long on it because I've mentioned this more than a few times at this point, but I cannot wait for it to hit the Nintendo Switch in June. I am so excited. But the reason I'm looking forward to this so much is because it's nothing like any of the previous Storia Seasons games. Not counting the original game, in which this is a remake of. You'll love to point that out in the comments. I know it's a remake, okay? Anyway, everything you love about a Storia Seasons game is here. You have the chonky cows, you have the farming, you have a neighboring town filled with charming people, all of which you can not only be friends with, but also end up romancing. But the twist is, you and everyone you meet age. And the game is split into chapters that will span an entire adult lifetime. So as you age, so too do all the villagers. The children grow into adults, and you get to see your child in the game grow and choose a life of their own. Another cool part is that your parenting decisions in the game will impact which job your child decides to take, which I think is such a cool addition. But the thing I love about this so much is that the time element actually solves a big issue I have with farming sims. In a typical farming sim, every single year is more or less the same. Like, sure, you might be in a relationship, but each year has the same festivals and the same conversations between the same people year after year. But this gets rid of that. Each year is different purely because everyone is a year older. The kids grow up and the villagers change. It also means I need to play this game differently to every other farming sim I usually play. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to just ignore the villagers for the first couple of in-game years, and really focused on making a good amount of money and getting my farm set up. But you can't do that in this game. If you ignore the villagers for years, you're gonna miss out on what makes this game special, watching the people in the town grow and change with you. Not to mention the fact that some of the elderly villagers you might just miss completely. So this style of game is going to force me to actually spend time getting to know the villagers and doing that side of a farming sim, and spend less time trying to become a millionaire. And ultimately, I don't think that's a bad thing. And that's it for my favorite upcoming plant-related games. But if this isn't enough cozy games for you, you can click this video here to see my favorite upcoming witchy-related games. I'll see you next time. Bye!